All right. So let's check our homework, get it turned in, hope that we win again this week. And well, if you guys win this, well, yeah, I guess next week it could tie back up, I guess.
I don't want it. Well, if we win this week, or like they win this week, and then someone like.
It could be tied up going into winter break. You are right. It could be tied up, and then we would have to go one more week post break.
Oh. Can you scroll down a little bit?
In a moment, let's give people like a chance to check. So, guys, I've been having some conversations with people about like, okay, great, you turned in your homework and it's done, but it's wrong. And like, I'm still gonna give you a check because the deal we have is if your homework's done, that is what counts. But if your answers are wrong, that means you're learning things wrong, and you're getting in bad habits. So like, if your answer's wrong, you need to like ask yourself, okay, can I figure out why it's wrong? And if not, you probably need to come work with me. So check, you like actually compare what's on the screen with what is on your paper. So like, quit staring at me. I know I didn't do my hair today. Sorry about it.
It looks normal.
Well, I didn't put any product in it because I need to go get a haircut, and it's like more annoying for the barber if you have product in your hair. So.
At least you don't have me by going like I like it cut G behind you.
Like what?
I like it cut G. It's like
It's a meme.
it's like
Okay, we're gonna move on then. Nope, no time for memes on Friday. Alex.
You get
I just want to say I'm proud of you for being like having the confidence to wear a white shirt yesterday.
What?
Because yesterday, or like at the beginning of the year, you said that you only wore black shirts because you sweat through like regular.
I mean, I still put sweater in that sweater. You just couldn't notice. Like, they're not as bad. Thanks for making me self-conscious all over again, Alex. Jeez.
Alex was congratulating you.
Yeah, but in a weird kind of slight shade manner. Like, because apparently it definitely got remembered and noticed, and now brought back up again to make it
I
awkward.
didn't remember or notice.
All right, no questions. Remember, absolute value is asking for distance away from zero, so it's always going to become positive. It's always going to become positive because distance cannot be negative. Right? Distance cannot be negative. Guys, please check these perimeter and area problems. This is what we've been practicing in class with the algebra tiles. Once we figure out what the area is, or once we figure out what the perimeter is, we can substitute the value they give us for x and do the math. I know this was a bigger homework. That's why we gave you like you got this on Tuesday, right? That's why we gave you lots of time to do it. Any other questions back here? Margo. 499. I'm looking at the wrong homework sheet over here. Well, this isn't my key, so actually, my key. Might as well grab this. I gotta go way far. So there's my area 28, perimeter 22. Let's double check my work. So this edge would be 6. So if I take a walk, my 6, my 2. Yep, I missed the 2. You're absolutely right. This 2 that I actually wrote here. So yeah, perimeter should be 24.
I want to make sure that's why I didn't check it first.
4, 4, 6. Yeah, I missed that too.
I usually check it like on your answer key, but I did it.
Guys, cautionary tale. If you're doing homework like, on vacation, apparently you make mistakes.
Yeah.
Or even when you don't do it on vacation. Sometimes you do anyway.
So like exactly what I just did when like I realized, oh crap, the answer I have written is wrong. Let me investigate what happened. And now, because I wrote in pen, like I can't undo what I wrote. I can't erase it. So I just wrote in like, oh yeah, I forgot to add an extra 2, forgot to add an extra 2. My answer should actually be 24. Like this is what you should be doing as we check our homework. Hopefully all of you have a Margot to tell you when your answers are wrong. Alex.
Does Marco get a piece of candy?
Yes, but I will handle that after class because there is no time today. All right. Any other questions? Otherwise, we can staple and turn in. Guys, stapling makes my life way easier. But please, like, don't staple in the middle of your paper. Like, actually put it at the top corner where it's supposed to go. So if you are done checking, staple your homework together, turn it in.
How would you staple it in the middle? Like the exact middle?
People, like, literally just shove it on their paper and, like, what, like, if they don't care. But that's one of those, like, life skills that we gotta, like, care about the quality of what we do.
I don't have a question at all.
I got out. Wait, you said to get out 433, right?
I mean, it is our lesson, so we'll probably talk about a couple of the homework problems if we can.
I was about to say there's all practice.
Yeah, there's no examples from class on it. You are correct, but we'll probably talk about a couple of those problems. My hope is that we have some time to work on homework, but we're only in here till... Oh yeah, the new Friday schedule that I keep. I didn't. No, wait, I did
Yeah,
print
we
it.
printed it out.
23. There we go. We're on it.
1 extra minute. Is that what's
2 extra minutes. 3, 2, 3. I don't know.
3 extra minutes.
All right, so we talked about this yesterday, right? We started reading this thanks to Jana, but now I'm a little confused at what Jana's doing with Lindy over there.
433?
Yeah, 433. There's no examples from class, but that is the lesson that we're talking about today.
Okay.
So guys, we were talking about the importance of zeros, right? And if you think about, I forget if this class, did we talk about like what year it is and if you didn't have a zero? Like, yeah, so not only is zero able to sometimes break things, like we talked about yesterday, we broke math with the algebra tiles, and we said, well, once we shrink the tile down a certain like distance, we got 2 actual different answers, right? So we kind of broke math, but there's this thing that now, and I think we talked about it yesterday, but now Siri doesn't do it. But for those of you that have never actually like heard it or had it done, I had the YouTube video pulled up, but then I think I accidentally closed it. We're gonna, so if we think through these questions real quick while I get this pulled up, because we gotta hear Siri be sassy. So sassy. All right, so literally, apparently it was a slow news day because on this ABC channel, I don't know if people were like tweeting in or what, but they got told like, hey, ask Siri what happened. Well, here you go.
Siri, what's 0 divided by 0?
Imagine that you have 0 cookies and you split them evenly among 0 friends. How many cookies does each person get? See, it doesn't make sense. And Cookie Monster is sad that there are no cookies. And you are sad that you have no friends.
And she's like, what? Siri? So, guys, zero can break math. So if you don't have graph paper out, let's get some graph paper out. It can be the same one you used yesterday. Or you can be like Miss and just open in your binder to whatever you have just been writing on. Love it. Perfect way to do it. So if we multiply by 0, well, let's start back at the more basics, I guess. If we add 0, let's say I got 5 ice cream sandwiches, Mario, and I add 0. What does that do? It doesn't do anything. Absolutely. What happens if I have 5 ice cream sandwiches and I subtract 0?
You get 5.
I still have my 5 ice cream sandwiches. Now, what happens if I have 5 ice cream sandwiches and I multiply by 0?
You have 0.
That's sad.
Yeah,
Now I got 0 ice cream
I have
sandwiches.
no ice cream sandwich.
And if I have 5 ice cream sandwiches and I divide by 0, guys, this, and I could even probably just go survey people on the street and like say, what is this? And they probably say 0. And that's wrong. And it's not 5 either. This, and this is why I'm asking you to write this down, because it will get in your head better if you write it down. This, and it's not infinity either. That symbol literally means we broke math.
Yeah.
For real. symbol, and it means no solution. It literally means you cannot do that math. It is impossible. If you try to do it in a calculator, it's gonna essentially tell you the same thing, but in the way of like, I cannot compute, because sometimes calculate. So, check it. Oh, my camera's all messed up. If I go back, and I 5 divide by 0. Sorry, I need to put like a piece of paper under it. Yeah, divide by 0, error. Like literally it cannot, attempted calculation contains division by 0, calculation fails. Like I don't know if you can read that, but literally my calculator's like, hey bro, can't do that. Calculation fails. Gabe?
So, I did this one time on a computer, and for some reason it said infinity, and that's why I thought that.
I mean, like I always say, computers are only smart as smart as whoever programmed it. Somebody programmed it wrong. Division by 0 cannot happen. So think about, could you have a length of 0? Like what if x is 0? Margot?
I don't think that would really work because like you have to have if you have it multiple sides, one of them has to have like a length.
Yeah, how long is this edge? X is the long, this is 1, right? So if I make x 0, now I have 0 length and 1 tall.
Because even if you just did a line, that'd still be more than 0 because you like have something there.
Right? Like, yeah, if it's there, if it exists, it can't be 0. Right? Because 0 is nothing. So guys, with algebra tiles though, we can make them positive or negative, and I think everyone has already noticed this as we've been playing with them. But so one side of the algebra tile is a color, like blue, purple, green, whatever. What's the other side? Red, right? So when we start talking about positives and negatives, so if I say that my blue tile is x squared, and my red, so if we're gonna make this the opposite, what would I call this? Negative x squared. Might as well go ahead and write that on here. So if I had a positive like ice cream sandwich and I had a negative like ice cream, what would happen if I had these together? If you had a positive x squared and a negative x squared, miss? They cancel out to 0. And this is why we're talking about 0 and talking about opposites. So if you want to make a little note on your paper that a positive x and a negative x, now here's the trouble. You won't always have red, right? Like in your binder, at your desk. An empty when we draw tiles, guys, this is what we should note on our paper. When we draw tiles, if you shade it in, it's positive x, right? That is whatever x is. But the negative x, and I got some people not doing this, which is your choice when you struggle on the homework. I'll tell you you didn't do what I asked. The negative x, we just leave empty. Yep, and if you want to make the x squareds, positive or negative x squareds, you can totally do that. Raphael, what are you looking for, man? Pencil? Yep, there's a bunch right there. Now, with the algebra tiles, or if you've got colors, you can also just make it red, right? So if we want a way to represent negatives, you can make it red.
If you make it a negative red,
Just stick it in your binder, because now you're going to have your binder every day.
you'll have an extra one.
Yeah. Margo?
If you make the negative red, then you have to shade in the
The
other one.
positive should be like blue or something not red, right? Like you could just shade it in with your pencil if you want, but yeah, if we're going to give colors, red is negative.
Okay, but you still have to signify the other one with positive.
Yeah. Yep, something like that. All right, so let's try some problems, but we're going to make an expression map. So I'm going to recycle. So instead of me printing these out, because that would be silly, and I meant to have this ready, but hey, it's a Friday. We're going to reuse, not even recycle, we're going to reuse this paper that comes with my copies. So every time I send copies, for some silly reason, 2 pieces of paper come back, if you would please. So we're just going to use the blank side of it, right? But if you flip it over, you'll see it says Mike Hudson ordered copies, whatever the copies were. side doesn't matter. And we're going to use it like sideways. Right? We're going to use this sideways. At the top of this paper, we're going to write expression mat. So this is an expression mat. So if I was you, and if this was your paper, I would draw a big old rectangle.
Can we use a ruler?
Sure. Yeah, if you want to make it look nice. And I would label it rectangle. No, I would label it expression mat. Dawson's leaving me alone this morning.
Oh,
We haven't really had any glitches or anything.
Dawson, I know you're
Thank you,
being
Dawson. Thank you. We love you.
We know it. We know you're in here, Dawson.
So now that we have our expression mat, we're able to set up expressions just like physically on the mat. Now we're not going to draw the tiles on the mat. We're going to like I do with my dot camera and like moving things around. But that rectangle that we just drew is the space that we are working with. If you move something outside of that rectangle, you've like gotten rid of it or you've done some math. So send somebody up, grab a set of algebra tiles, because I've realized I want to do less work and you guys have 2 feet and a heartbeat and you can do it yourself. Grab a set of algebra tiles. And I know, I stole it from my brother-in-law. He said it to his wife and I thought it was hilarious. So I stole it. Well, like she asked him to go get something and he just looked at her and was like, you got 2 feet and a heartbeat.
What if I just do that to my parents?
You're making me feel bad, Margot. I don't know what's going on.
What did you do?
I don't know what I did. All right, you got 10 seconds to get back to how you're supposed to be because we're in the middle of a class. And a 5, a 4, a 3, 2, 1. All right, so we have, because you're getting these out of the coffee can that smells so delicious. Are we getting out the squares or the rectangles for A? The rectangles, right? So we're going to get out 2 X's, and we're going to get out another 2 X's, but to show that they're negative, we're going to flip them to the red side. And then we're going to have to dig for some 1s. Guys, if you think you have too many of these purple tiles, I can come take some away, because we don't need them. If you have too many tiles in your can, me or Miss Martin can take some for you. Need help? We'll leave that for the next one. I'm going to steal some purples. You've got too many. We'll get those back and we'll leave them. If it's shaded in, it's positive. If it's empty, it's negative. If you feel like you don't have enough 1s, you and your partner could share an expression mat. You could just build it once if you want. Boom, boom, boom. All right, and I'm betting we're not going to be too sad about the next step. Because the next step is let's destroy some stuff.
Yay!
So, and if you are choosing not to do this, that's up to you, but that might hurt you in the long run. But I'm going to use random cards, so whether you're doing this or not, I'm still going to ask you questions. Lily, what would happen, or what does happen, when I put my positive X and my negative X, like, together? What? 0. 0 is an 8th grader. What do you mean 0? Yeah, a number, a thing, and its opposite cancel each other out. So how they set up their mat was like this, right? But we can move stuff around. This expression mat is our space that we can do whatever we want with. So if I put these together, that destroys them. They literally get destroyed and get wiped out and like move out of our expression mat. Because like when your mom or dad or whoever says clean your bedroom, pick stuff up, we want to clean this up. We want to get everything paired up if we can, everything canceled out if we can, and only have left what we have to have left. So if these pair up and cancel, I do it again. What about my ones over here? Can you tell me what I could do with those? Because I got 4 of the blues up and 3 of the reds. If I have a positive one, which I have 4 of them. Oh, I can do this! Just like we did with the X's. So pair up, pair up, pair up. So all of these would literally leave our expression mat. If they make 0, we make them leave. Now, I would not put them back in the can because we know we got another problem coming. So what does this end up simplifying down to? Just 1. Literally just 1.
Good morning, Phoenix. Could Mason Colombini please stop by the office for a moment? Mason Colombini, please stop by the office for
Now,
a moment.
if on your homework you're asked to show this, cough, cough, nudge, nudge, if your homework asks you to show this, we can show that by grouping our zeros and saying, okay, these cancel out. And we literally circle and draw an arrow saying it's gone. It's leaving, it's getting out of here. Now, annoyingly, now I kind of got to say, okay, this one paired up with this one would cancel out. And then I can say, okay, you 3 and these 3 cancel out. And what are we left with? Just our 1. Try that again with the structure set up over here for part B. If you think you don't need to pull out tiles to figure out what happens, you don't necessarily have to. I'm going to write what we have, beneath it. I'm going to go ahead and write, so we got so if we wrote it out, I think Lily's realizing her expression mat's a tad small.
Yeah, so was mine. I had to make a new one.
So I got plenty of that copy paper stuff that I get really annoyed by how many of those sheets show up actually. So guys, you can make as many expression mats as you want. So if I make 2x squareds, and then, okay, these, I'll even take volunteers once I get this built to tell me what to do. These, and these. Do I have it set up right? So everyone, if you're choosing to do this with me, everyone should have something like this on our paper. Ivan. You guys speak up, man. I can't hear you. The ones, the x's, the x squareds, what tiles? The ones? Okay, sweet. So these, wait, this guy slid out and should not have. These ones and these ones. So 0, 0. So I can remove from the mat and remove from the mat. Then the x. What about it? Cancel these out. Remove them off my mat. These can cancel out. What about my x squareds? Can these cancel?
No.
Crap. They're the same, not opposite. So they need to be opposite to cancel. So these, what about my -1? So this cleans up to what, Margot? If I'm writing this out, hint, hint, cough, cough, if you get asked to write this out, like on your homework, it cleans up to 2x squared. And now, which is easier to write? This or that? Yeah. This is why we simplify. This is now, like, we all know the E word's the bad word, but like in math, we literally use the word simplify to say, okay, clean things up, pair up what you can, put together, make it better, right? Simplify just says do what you can do to clean it up. Does that make sense? We're making it simpler, better. Okay.
Why it's so easy for people to
What? What'd you say?
What did you say?
I think you did that on purpose. I think you planned this out. I see your eyes.
I didn't mean to.
All right.
Ask why it is so simple.
Try this.
It's so absent.
On your expression mat, we're going to write two different equivalent expressions to describe what is represented. So we'll build this on our expression mat, then we'll write it on our graph paper. Right? The area of a rectangle with a width of 3 units and a length of x. So we're going to build a shape, like Raphael, what you always love doing. We're going to build a combined shape. We're going to put multiple tiles together. You need to make a rectangle that's 3 wide and x plus 5 long. So chat with your partner if you can't figure out what, like, x, so x plus 5. X plus, like, so, like, how could I, this is x long. How tall is my x tile? 1, right? It's 1 tall. So x, ooh, if I do this, x plus 1, right? Like we were labeling yesterday. So if I do this, I now got x plus 2. Wait, guys, we have a 5 tile. Good.
He
Yeah.
gets found it.
Yeah, like we have a 5 tile. Just get out the 5 tile. Hey, who said that self-deprecating language? Addie. Also, by the way, no quiz today because we didn't make it far enough, so it's all good. Captain Freakout over there, getting all worried about something that didn't even happen. Yes, we will do Jenga next week before we take the actual like chapter mastery. All right, so I got my x plus 5. How do I make this have a width of 3? Gabe? What is the width right now?
Okay, so the width right now is at 1.
Yeah, this is 1,
So
and this is 1.
I feel like what you could do is like you could add 2 more of each.
Oh. So now we're 3 wide and x plus 5 long. Hey guys, I'll tell you right now, there's a problem almost exactly like this on your mastery next week. Pretty much exactly like this. So if you got it in your notes, that'll be real beneficial. If you don't, too bad, so sad.
Well, not so bad for you.
Well, if you are doing what I ask you to do, you shouldn't be worried at all. But the people that are choosing not to engage, I kind of lose sympathy for because you're in control. It's like if you choose to drive your car at 100 miles an hour and then you get arrested, I don't feel bad for you. So how can we write this out? I hate that this disappears when I go to write. So if area is always length times width, right? Length times. So if we write out the area, it'd be 3 times, what's our other dimension? This was 3. What's this? X plus 5. So I need to probably put that in parentheses. Guys, this is exactly what I want you to do on the test. Exactly. So then the actual area, how many x's do we have? How many 1s do we have? This is what we did yesterday. 3 times x, 3 times 5. It's really 3x plus 15. That's exactly what you're going to do on the mastery next week.
Yay!
So if this feels manageable, you shouldn't worry at all.
Right, Joe.
This is gonna sound kind of stupid.
No, it's not.
Nothing is stupid.
So, if you're multiplying something by x, would that the thing, like the actual number that you're multiplying by, just have the x?
If we don't know what x is, yes. sounded the opposite of stupid. That was a really good thing to point out. If we don't know what x is, we just got to work with x. Now, if somebody now shows up and says, hey, you know, x is 5, now we can go, oh, well, thanks for telling me now, but now we can plug it in and do the math. What about 2 equal groups of 3 minus 2? Wait. So if I have 3x and I don't know what x is, can I take 2 off of this? But man, somebody, like this crazy guy keeps talking about subtraction not existing. That like a minus isn't really. Instead of 3x minus 2, how else could we write that? Plus a negative. So if instead we say 3, that's an eraser. If we say 3x plus negative 2, we could build that. How do I show negatives? My red. Okay, so 3x and negative 2. 2 groups. So now I gotta do it again. 3x and minus 2. So how would we write this out? Length times width. Length. So our length here is what? Ivan? Yeah! So guys, this is our length. The 3x and the negative, that's your length. So Ivan said take that and multiply the whole thing by how many groups did we have? 2. What is 2 times 3x?
6x.
So 6x and negative 4, which makes sense because I got 6x and negative 4. Calm down there, show off.
Mr. Show
Could you be any more horizontal in that chair? I think you're trying to be as flat as possible there. I haven't been planked by the end of class. All right, we are out of time. I know that's a disappointment, but I need tiles back in the coffee can. Tiles back in the coffee can. Sorry to break your heart. Ivan can't show off anymore, I guess.
I'm glad about that. You
You
did
wanna
it,
go
that's
next?
it, man.
You wanna like go onto the dot camera? And
That's
do the
my
next one?
thing.
You can if you want to. You did what?
You have your creative start.
Showing off, man. You're just over here showing off. All right, guys. Thank you for cleaning up. I really appreciate that. My next class does not use these.
Everybody still
You did that under the table. Like leave your cans there. Perfect. Get out of here. Head to creative starters. Creative starters.
No.
At least I think. That is why we do it, because there's brain research that says if you start your day with some sort of creative message, your brain is better all day long. Yep, that's why Phoenix decided we're always going to do those classes in the morning, like if we can. This is a lie. We did not finish this. We will finish it on Monday.
You go to creative
Trying to see if I found my I think this one on the top says, but it's no name.
Donovan! He's right there.